Hello everyone, I'm Rosemary Church and this is CNN News Now. The Russian government has given the US until September 1st to slash its diplomatic staff by more than half. The US State Department on Sunday said the order was regrettable and uncalled for. And Matthew Chance explains why the Kremlin took this action now.
755 people will essentially, be slashed from the US missions across Russia. US rather has, remember, an embassy in Moscow. It has 3 consulates elsewhere in the country that employs a mixture of US nationals and Russian staff. But whichever way you cut it, this is a massive amount of people that these missions will be reduced by. And I think that underlines just how disappointed and angry that the Russians are that the US Congress passed this US sanctions bill so convincingly. And of course, they're doing it ahead of the expectation that President Trump will sign that bill into law. What they're saying is that this is a long-awaited, long-overdue response to the decision by the United States when, in the last few weeks of Barack Obama's presidency in December last year, to expel 35 diplomats over allegations that Russia interfered in the US election. And when you sort of take it in comparison to that, it's many times the order of magnitude of that measure taken by the United States. So it's obviously a big step, and it's going to be, I think, really interesting to see how the Trump administration responds to this.
Matthew Chance reporting there. Well, violent protests across Venezuela as the government held a vote that may weaken the country's democracy even more. At least 6 people died in clashes Sunday, including 2 teenagers. Supporters of President Nicolas Maduro are expected to control a new assembly that could rewrite the constitution. The US says the vote was a sham and will be a step toward dictatorship. US President Donald Trump has threatened to impose economic sanctions. The US says it's tested the THAAD missile defense system, intercepting a ballistic missile over the Pacific. This comes days after North Korea tested a long-range missile, claiming it could reach all of the US mainland. US Vice President Mike Pence says it's time to rein in Pyongyang's nuclear program.
The era of strategic patience is over. The President of the United States is leading a coalition of nations to bring pressure to bear until that time that North Korea will permanently abandon its nuclear and ballistic missile program.
And that's your CNN News Now. Fareed Zakaria GPS is next. You're with CNN, the world's news leader.